I know that you're drunk. Yeah. Tell me what you want after this club. You know you're nasty.
And we will be seeing them still going on into this next set. So we're going to see the winner of the previous set, that's Ian and Mac, and we're going to be seeing them go up against Darwin and Saqil.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what Darwin has here in 2v2. I know he's been putting pictures on Twitter of him playing with Boomy, of all people. I was really surprised to see that. Like, I saw the picture, and at first I thought it was like someone just smurfing under the name Boomy, and then I saw that he has the tag, or the title, that he's the, you know, the 2v2 world champion. I can't remember exactly which one title he had on, but specifically, like, yeah, so as far as I can tell, unless that's completely falsified, he's been playing with Boomy. So, like, the 2v2 GOAT has been osmosisly teaching Darwin in their 2v2 gaming sessions.
Yeah, and, you know, his placements have been pretty good. He's got like a 9th at the Autumn Champs. He got like a 7th at the Summer League Champs as well. So, you know, like, consistently being in like the top 12 side of things, that is always a really, really good sign. So he's been doing super well. I don't think that him and Saqil have teamed with each other in the past.
This is a BCX special right here. In Autumn Championship, he ended up getting 9th alongside his teammate of J-Blade, and that was an improvement, a huge improvement from 17th at Summer Championships that he also got alongside J-Blade. So he's like, he went from right on the precipice of top 16, blew past that, and then at Autumn's is right on the precipice of top 8, and then let's see what he has for us here at BCX. And who are they going up against? Oh yeah, just like you said, it's going to be Ian and Mac. So a really strong team from South America. They're having to play back-to-back sets on the main stage. Very intimidating.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I think that they got it. They looked pretty solid. They looked pretty composed. I think it was definitely like not shaky gameplay, at least from what you and I could see that last game. What has made them so scary? I think their follow-up potential. I think it's both of their abilities just to fight like their 1v1s, and they're so successful when they need to be, and their interruptions. They have excellent 2s sense. Hailing from a region like South America, you have some 2s demons coming from there, and you can see that experience shining through in their gameplay.
So let me look at who Saqil is going to be playing. Okay, so I asked him who he's going to be playing in 1v1s and 2v2s, and he said random for both. So potentially these are just 1v1 focused players who are like, you know what? We might as well enter the 2s bracket while we're here, and let's just see what happens.
That's right. So it's going to be a little bit before we get into that match. So I guess you and I could just take a little look to see if there have been anything, you know, exciting happening throughout the tournament today. You have so many 2s matches. Tomorrow, of course, is going to be the beginning of singles. I'm also curious to see, like, what are the teams that are shaping up. And experience, a team that I'm excited for, especially, has to be Experience and Fakey.
Experience and Fakey. We've gotten to see like glimpses of them in online seasonal tournaments. They've obviously done extremely well. They seem to be the top team in North America, but really everyone is kind of focused on like the in-person side of things, right? And we didn't get to see them at CEO. Like that was tough to not get to see Experience and Fakey team up at CEO, and Experience obviously had to watch it from home. Again, we mentioned that on the pre-show, like a very famous moment in the community of Zen on a post-game interview alongside his teammate Hideaway, and it was Last asking them, how did you two like meet up or whatever, and Zen ends up saying like, ever since you 1v2'd me and Experience, I wanted to play with you, and like that seemed to hit Experience pretty hard. And so he's definitely out here to prove something. I don't think he proves whatever he wants to prove just by winning the online tournaments. He's really here with something to prove, and I think his teammate as well, Fakey, wants to prove that here in the in-person competition. And you only get the best of the best here at BCX.
Yeah, he is here for all the money, so that's definitely somebody that I am keeping my eyes on. And then, of course, you know, we have to keep in mind a team like Kaina and Loris, and they are currently just tearing through the bracket, I have to say. I don't believe that they have dropped even a game so far. Well, they've only actually, they've played 2 teams so far, and 3 teams, and it's just been 3-0, 3-0, 3-0. This is definitely one of the scariest teams that we see coming into this weekend for sure.
Okay, so it looks like we have a correction. It's actually not going to be Ian and Mac playing back-to-back sets on the main stage. It's going to be Saqil and Darwin versus Sweaty Meat and Aquatic. So they are actually the ones that are playing back-to-back sets, which means that Darwin and Saqil are in the elimination bracket right now.
I see. Okay, I thought this was still going to be on the winning side of things. But yeah, no, we're jumping down into elimination. Of course, if you guys can't tell by the word elimination, whoever loses this set is going to be completely knocked out for the weekend for 2. So there is a lot on the line here. We have not gotten a chance to see Darwin and Saqil play so far, but with Sweaty and Aquatic, honestly, they could have taken that set that we just saw them lose. That was so within the realm of doability. They were establishing a really good dynamic with each other. I really want to see them lock in and just get those follow-ups that they're looking for, and hopefully no more SDs.
Yeah, given that Saqil said he's going to be playing random, and just based off of that, I'm doing a little bit of extrapolation and sort of narrative. I'm just making it up in my head what feels correct. If these are 2 1v1 players who aren't really focused on 2v2 that much, they're not playing with their normal teammates or anything like that, maybe we could see them just focus on splitting up the other team completely and just playing their individual 1v1s, which in this case I would imagine would favor Saqil and Darwin. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we know how strong of a 1v1 player Darwin is.
That's right. Yeah, no, definitely a menace in tournament for sure. Yeah, so Sweaty and Aquatic, this could be a really good gun for them as well. Here again, both of them have been on the come up in the 2 setting. I am curious to see if it's going to be the Wushang picks that ends up prevailing. We did not actually get to see the Wushang come into too much fruition. We didn't get to see big Wushang stuff. Like, why do people pick Wushang? Well, you know, you essentially have like the same NSIG on both weapons that just scoops, it does it all, it pays you taxes, it does it all for you.
Then on the other side, man, I don't think we've seen too much of Darwin in 2v2s, like, period. I mean, there was the 9th at Autumn Championship, so we saw him on the elimination side there. I don't even know if that made it to mainstream, or specifically if he went down early enough, it may not have made it to mainstream, and that was on side stream. And then as for the 17th in Summer Championships, that might not have made it to stream whatsoever. So yeah, we're getting to see a lot more of Darwin. We typically know him for 1v1s, of course. And then in 2v2s, it'll be like every tournament we seem to learn more and more about him.
That's right. I'm also curious who his legend pick is going to be going into this one as well. Again, we have a lot of question marks, and we are waiting. And I guess in the meantime, we can continue just to go ahead and look throughout the tournament. Oh, an exciting team. Skeldra and J44L were teaming with each other, but it seems like they've already got knocked down into the elimination side of things to Delta and Razox. Dova and Rutsme, by the way, also teaming with each other. They almost took down Delta and Razox, which would have been an amazing, amazing upset. They went down in a Game 5, a bit of a heartbreaker, but now that means, oh, they went into the elimination side of things, and it seems like Dova and Rutsme have been knocked out of the tournament for 2s.
That's tough. I know Rutsme is sort of more of a 1v1 focused player there. So let's see if there's anything else. I feel like most great solid players are for sure. They want to be able to play the individual 1v1 games. It looks like Jakey and Saphir made it out on winner's side of their pool. Then let's see what happened with Moni and Meg D that we saw earlier. Okay, it looks like Moni and Meg D are in a elimination side qualifier match to make it out of pools against Mosh Pit and Sidekick. Oh, that just updated. So it's a 3-0 for Moni and Meg D. They made it out on the elimination side. Looks like we're getting into the game here.
That's right, everybody. Thank you so much for your patience. We are going to be jumping into this game. Number 1, here is what I would say. We were waiting so long. It's been so long. And yet, we're going to have to be patient for a little bit longer here, and that's okay. That's just how it goes. Maybe a wrong legend pick. Let's see what's going to happen.
So it looks like we're going to get the double lances coming out from Saqil and Darwin. That's going to be really difficult to deal with. The amount of space that you can cover just jumping and neutral airing, jumping and neutral airing, like that's going to be really tough to deal with for this other team.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, you could just stop that at jump. You know, because Lance has so much threat and is so scary even when it does absolutely nothing at all, because you're like, are they going to down it? Are they going to neutral it? Are they going to side it? Are they going to jump a few times and then side it into me? So there is a lot of pressure potential here, I think, from Darwin and Saqil. You could make a team terrified, especially if you set up that sandwich. If you got a Lance on one side, you got a Lance on the other side, you do not want to be in the middle of it.
They are going to have to get a little bit creative if that happens, because then all of a sudden you introduce DI into things, and so you got to get a little bit creative. We see that sometimes with like double gauntlets. That's typically the one we see where DI might come into effect there, but usually we see legends that have like a lot of signatures that you can incorporate into that as well during that 2v1 team combo, so you can get away from that DI and not have to worry about it.
But now I think we're going to be getting into it, everybody.
This
Officially,
is gonna be it for sure.
Game number 1, elimination side, Sweaty and Aquatic up against Saqil and Darwin. Let's see what we got already. Sweatbeat's on the way back down. Saqil catching everybody with that Enlight. Darwin already trying to set up off stage here. Enlight, Sweaty, no follow-up, not in a position to do so. And Aquatic just putting on the damage.
Let's see what Aquatic can do with this Bryn swap. There's a side signature. It's going to hit Saqil in the orange and the down air. Unfortunately, he bounced off the main stage. Didn't send down until the edge guard. GCD sig, beautiful work. Saqil's going to be disarmed. There is a weapon spawn, but Aquatic's going to grab the axe. There's the axe side air. Is he going to live off of this one? Is Sweaty Meat going to go in? No. Aquatic, another side air to finish that one off.
2 axes against 1 lance. That is not the place that you want to be if either member of the blue team, quite frankly, coming in with the sailor. Okay, Aquatic, is he going to be able to get back onto the stage? The down air didn't spike. He was up a little bit too high. He bounced on the stage, and Aquatic lives another day. He makes it back on. He gets the recovery on his teammate. That's okay.
Oh, he's been interrupted 2 times now on that side signature from Darwin's Artemis. It would have been a KO both times. Ooh. There's the side air. He's going to trade 1 for 1 there.
But that's such a good stock to take because that was still his first stock. Now that's going to be Saqil on his last stock. That's also going to be Sweaty losing 1 of his own. Tries to go out there. He's not going to be able to find the down. He committed off stage. Good punish on the whip D-Sig. The GC Enlight not going to be able to find a connection. Comes in with the side 6. Still no connect.
Nice punish. Aquatic goes for the sidelight into the side air. Obviously not a true combo, so out getting the spot dodge from Darwin. He's going to avoid that. Here's the down air again, setting up into an off stage, but a great sidelight from Sweaty Meat. He's going to put some damage, and Darwin's going to end up falling off of that one. But that was just his first stock, so he's in a really good spot. It took 1:45 to get that one. There's the soft side air. That's going to be the KO. All of a sudden, Darwin, he's by himself.
He's by himself, and look at this combo, but the ground pound. I'm so surprised that didn't connect.
Beautiful Lance ground pounder. Yeah, I really thought he was going to get hit there. There's the side air. Does he keep pressing it? He's going to put himself there, but not commit to anything because he knows Aquatic is right behind him.
Landing with the down air, tries to go through the jump lead, not going to be able to find it. He gets the dodge in call out, really holding on to the recovery, but that should be the stock, and now he is officially on his last stock. Aquatic and Sweaty, they are looking so good, unless Aquatic somehow loses 1 of his own.
Darwin looking for a weapon. There is one on the field. It's going to be the scythe.
That Enlight, that friendly fire, that weapon toss. Aquatic, get back on and run away from both people still on the stage. Run away from their teammate as well. That could have gone south so quickly, and now you have a chance. Darwin has a chance to be able to turn this into a 1v1.
And he's grabbing both with 2 different signatures. Almost got the D-Sig as well onto Sweaty.
He caught the landing. Aquatic is gone. What is happening?
All of these signatures coming out, and the red team is letting him hit them.
They were playing scary. They were on top of each other. They were stepping on each other's toes, and now that is going to be Darwin.
No, this is so scary. This is exactly where Darwin wants to be.
You know, super confident in his once gameplay. Okay, nice catch.
Delay. I like that, even though like you had the true combo, to be quite honest.
Yeah, but he still was able to get into it. He was like, wait, I messed up the first timing. Well, let's just see what you go ahead and you do next. Sweaty being so patient to pick up the weapon. He's able to get the axe here. And Light doesn't get off me. And that knocks it away. He has no recovery, but he chooses to pick up the hammer instead of controlling the stage.
Darwin's not going to have a weapon here. Here comes the spawn. He's able to grab it. It's the neutral air into the recovery. Going to need to do more damage before that KO is off the top. Sweaty staying away from it.
You're not punishing that side sig. It is just not happening.
Tough with the bounce back.
Yeah. You have to really be stacked. You really have to be like above them to be able to do that. If you're off to the side, it is too late. The stop sail comes through. I don't think he's going to be able to make it back on. Darwin goes through the recovery. It actually gives him more options and opportunities to land. He whiffs the Enlight. He gets hit by the downer. He throws it away through the weapon. He's still able to dodge past the recovery. And he doesn't
catch it. Just a little bit too high. The D-Light's not going to reach up. Sweaty is so close, but every moment this goes on, it feels like it's more and more in Darwin's favor.
Everything is
Can he pick up the weapon? No! It allows his safe landing, but it's a major sacrifice he has to make. He doesn't have any true combo follow-up options to get the KO.
Sweaty is just backing up, giving him so much stage. The sail is not enough to KO all the way from the center. He's being patient. He waited, and the ground pound from the bottom to the top and KO'd. He clutched. That almost fell apart for the red team. That was almost one of the biggest fumbles, but just at the millisecond.
Holy.
He was able to clutch it out. He got it.
Wow, I cannot believe he was able to avoid the gravity cancel signature, and he gets the KO off the top.
He waited.
What an end to game one.
You saw him use one more jump just to gently fade back. Just because he knew, okay, this would be a time that Darwin would probably want to go ahead and commit off stage. This was so scary. This could have gone either direction.
That was so close to KOing Dara.
Look what he does. Look what he does. So patient. He waits.
And
even when he was sweating. He knew that his dodge was going to come back. He knew that even if he didn't go out there, that he would still be able to dodge to be able to get back on. That was so good. That was so patient.
Players like you and I, and many other players out there in this arena and watching at home, when they're in sweat beads, it's a problem.
Yes.
But who are we talking about? We're talking about Sweaty Meat, baby. That's where he lives. That's where he lives.
That's where he lives. Sweat Feet's coming on out. He is making a name for himself. Very, very nicely done. Also, you know, you brought that up, like, what do players you and I do in that position? Well, I feel like every single instinct in my body, if in my head I go, you know, level 1 thinking is like, oh, I don't have a dodge. I'm going to jump to the side of the stage. I'm going to get all my options back. I'm going to go ahead and get my jumps back. And Darwin tried to catch that timing. I know that we're repeating ourselves, but the amount of patience that takes to do last stock, last hit, deep disadvantage, you're about to, you know, you had a lead, it all fell apart, and still be able to make it back on like that.
Yeah.
Dude, that takes restraint, that takes thinking. Something that, quite frankly, in that position, I'm not capable of doing.
Yeah, that was a really high-pressure situation, and Darwin was changing things up as well. He wasn't just like, oh, I'm going to sit back, I'm going to wait to hit my spot dodge on the ground and move when he comes in with his axe downer, and then I'm going to go for my, like, in-light, neutral air, side air, and that's going to be the KO. Like, he was throwing out a lot of different signatures as well. He wasn't just spamming the same one. You know how tricky and how scary the signature kit that Artemis brings to the table can be, especially in those high-pressure situations. And we even saw him hit like an in-light, and then he went with like a turnaround GC side light. Yep. So he's changing up the options off of the in-light as well to try and catch Sweaty Meat, and he just didn't fall for it. A little bit of history, though, before we get into this next game, is they faced, well, technically it was Darwin and his teammate J-Blade, but it was against Sweaty Meat and Aquatic. The one time they faced each other, it was a 3-1 in favor of Sweaty Meat and Aquatic. This was at Autumn Championship, so not too long ago. And it was in favor, again, like I said, 3-1, and this ended up leading to both of these teams tying for 9th.
Yeah, it's still going to be a little bit before we get into the next game, guys. So thank you for sticking with us, and thank you for being patient so far. Yeah, so let's just talk a little bit about what also happened. I think there was really, really good signature usage from Aquatic here. I loved that Bryn pick going into this.
Man, I didn't even notice the damage numbers that came out of this one. On the red team, talking about that Bryn pick, 585 damage, so the most damage on his team, and 4 KOs. On the other side, I'm sure Saqil, like, I'm not going to harp on him because he knows exactly at the end of that game, because he did 161 damage.
Not harping on him. We just gotta let the people know. Tell us.
Darwin did 902 damage.
Yeah.
902 damage and 5 KOs. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and Saqil's damage was, you know, maybe more like Darwin 2's numbers when I'm getting boosted by somebody. So that was tough, but I'm not saying that Saqil is boosted, not saying that he's boosted, but that was just a difficult game 1 for him. You know, and Darwin, he did a really good job trying to, like, you know, do his best to come back here. I will say, though, one of the biggest difficulties that we did see was Sweaty and Aquatic stepping on each other's toes a little bit. There was a lot of friendly fire coming out. And that was the only reason why Darwin was able to reverse the position to begin with. They were respecting some of the signatures too much. They were getting, like, cheesed by, like, oh, this is a GC side sig. We can probably punish this on the landing, and then they didn't, and then Darwin had another punish for them. So they got a little bit nervous when it was the 2v1, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see how they deal with that pressure in this next game. Now, keep in mind, in their previous set against Ian and Mac, like, game 1 was their best game. That was the one game they won, and then they lost 3 in a row against Ian and Mac. But they've also had some time to, like, sit and stew and really, like, adjust to being on the main stage. So who knows if, like, back-to-back main stage sets, especially after you've lost one and you sort of bring that, like, lack of momentum into your next set, compared to if you were Ian and Mac and you end up winning a set, you bring that winning momentum and that winning confidence into the next game. So who knows? Hopefully we get a chance to talk to them after this, how it feels to go back-to-back, especially after an L. Meanwhile, Darwin and Saqil, they have to sit down fresh on the main stage.
That's great. It's yeah, it's going to be a little bit tough for them. Also, how did you feel about the double lands pick? It might be difficult for us to talk about that because, like,
I think it was fine. I think it was great.
I just don't feel like they were able to set up really anything big as a team. You know, there was a reason why they were able to just, like, establish a lead so early in the game. But the question is, like, what did it even, like, happen to Saqil? How did Saqil lose so many of his stocks so early on?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like my eyes were a lot on Darwin. Like, we were seeing the signatures come out. A lot of them were hitting, and then, like, some of them, it was specifically, like, back-to-back side signatures on the lance that Darwin threw out. Would have been a KO both times if they hit, but he got interrupted both times as well. So it's, like, moments like that where the lance, like, didn't happen to work for him. But we're getting into this one. Let's see if Saqil can turn things around. That was just game one. It was the first game of the set, so you can absolutely come back here, especially if Darwin's still putting out big damage. He doesn't have to do 900.
Sweaty with the coverage.
Yeah, that could have been an early KO. Oh yeah, here comes the ground pound. You got to be ready for that one. Aquatic is done.
He's able to get one ground pound.
Another one,
Sweaty, is that going to be it for his stock? The weapon throw actually not going to be enough to solidify that. He gets a good cover of his own. You always have to be careful about going off stage against Hammer. Almost going to be finishing off that combo. Not expecting that angle, not expecting that trajectory. Sidelight neutral. Aquatic almost had the save, but he was down a little bit too low.
Saqil, again, he's looking a little bit mild so far this game, and we need him to get a little bit wild here. There's the side air. It's going to be a stock off of Darwin. See if he gets bullied here in the 1v2. That was a great weapon toss, but Sweaty Meat was just right on him, ready off the stage. Now Aquatic's going to bounce him off the stage. That's first stock going down. But it was Darwin who lost his stock first, technically.
Yeah, amazing, amazing offstage gameplay. And now look at the position that the red team is in. That is still Sweaty. He's hanging on to his first stock. Sidelight neutral, going to be able to catch that landing on the way back down. He's backing up a little bit. He's looking for the follow-up. He's not over committing to anything, but the sail, is this going to be enough to take the... Oh, hold on.
Yeah, okay, they get the stock. Great pressure from Darwin. He's really extending off stage. Even throws out the taunt. He was going out there. I think he even side air, but at the time that side air was done, he was off screen. Just putting out so much pressure on a Sweaty Meat. Can they get the interrupt here? That was a nice little sweet.
Aquatic, he has to play back and he has to play safe. He is the only one that is on his last stock so far. Sweaty is off stage. He has to get back on as soon as possible. He helped out his teammate. Aquatic, the GC Endlight as a wake up, that is an amazing thing to do, especially against Sight. When they're on top of you, you can catch them crossing you up. D-Light comes through successfully. Not able to get the recovery. Both members of the blue team in disadvantage. They're struggling to land. Ooh. Sweaty with one. Is this going to be another?
Can he catch the landing? No, he actually jumps into the air rather than trying to catch the landing. Okay, it's pinball. He's bouncing him around the stage, gets the KO off the top. I fear Sweaty Meat's hammer so much. His axe is great, don't get me wrong. No slide on his axe whatsoever, but he really comes alive when he has the hammer. Here comes the juggle off the top, almost getting the KO there. There's the stomp into the recovery as well as hammer chops are going crazy. Dude, and then now he's going to lead in with Aquatic. Can he get back? No, he's going to fall. Great job from Darwin on that edge guard.
But now it is a 2v1. This is such a big change from the last game here. But you know what, Sweaty, he still has two stocks. And both members of the blue team are in a pretty nasty position themselves. They're not able to secure this on Telos quite yet. We are on Demon Island after all. I like that. Okay, shifting, backing up, and then you get the D-Light.
There it goes with the strong D-Light, the active input option, so you get that stronger kick to turn it into a KO rather than something you chase off of. They're probably going to play this pretty chill. They know they're in a really good spot. No need to risk anything because it is still a losable game. The GCD Sig is going to let Sweaty Meat get back on the stage. Weapon toss comes in. Beautiful side air from Darwin to knock him away. Here comes the axe, though.
He was so patient. He wasn't committing to anything, and then he picked up the axe. He was able to get the side Sig, and now it is another 1v1. He gets the end light. This is such a good matchup for axe into Lance, and then he catches the cross-up anyways with that D-Sig. Sweaty is staying in the game. The red team is keeping up their lead. It is now a 2-0, and they are looking phenomenal.
And you had to think going into that one, in the 1v1, Sweaty Meat won the 1v1 against Darwin. So going into it against Saqil, when he has like a massive health lead as well, all he really needs is like an axe side air at that point. He ends up finding that, gets the KO, and that's over. It's now up 2-0. Again, we're on the elimination side of things. So if Darwin and Saqil lose this game, their 2v2 run is going to be over.
Let's see what they got, but I have to say this synergy from Aquatic and Sweaty, and Sweaty's coverage, he is the king of coverage right now. He's holding on to the ground pound. He almost got the follow-up off of Aquatic, but Aquatic just sealing out the stock.
I love how Sweaty Meat will start putting out a lot of damage on stage, and then one of the blue team members will get sent on the edge, and then Aquatic will take over. Especially coming in with that Spirit, so scary, with the down airs and the ground pounds. And Sweaty Meat, is he going to lose his stock here? He does eat an axe downer, but he touched the wall. He's back on the main stage now.
I think this might be it. This is already Darwin sitting on his last stock. This has snowballed so poorly for the blue team here. And look at the position that he is in again. Sweaty is going out there. This time around, he is going to get punished for it. Nicely done from Saqil. Darwin fast falling into the down air. Jumps. Nice. Ground pounce. That was so optimal.
Yeah, this is Darwin realizing that, like, okay, if you're going to go off stage, we really got to go in. We're so far behind at this point. Yep. It's 4 stocks to 4, but overall the spread is going to favor the red team. Although shouts out to Saqil. Hopefully he's done some damage so far this game because he has 3 stocks. Now he has 2 stocks. Let's see if Darwin can fend off this red team, maybe get a stock in the process.
Oh my gosh, Darwin, is he going to be able to make it back on? He's able to get a ground pound, and that is now all of a sudden Sweaty sitting on his last stock as well. I have no idea how he has done it, but his offstage gameplay has been so lethal. He gets the D-Light. He's backing off a little bit. He goes high. He baited and punished the recovery. He knew what Aquatic wanted. He is punishing Aquatic for his impatience, for his impudence.
That was one great side air to send Aquatic over there, then the fade away, and then going back in with a side air to finish it off. Great, just like textbook edge guarding from a Lance player.
Oh, there it is. He thought that he could go out there. He wanted it so badly, and now it is a 2v1 against Saqil.
Now's your time, brother. You got to come out big. We saw Darwin do 900 damage the first game. The second damage, he did like 500 damage.
That's one pogo. Not going to be able to get the second one, but Saqil now left without a weapon. He is struggling just to find an inch, and that's Aquatic.
Yeah,
good
Aquatic
coverage.
was so ready for that. He knew he was going to go in for the weapon and then back up. All he had to do was wait for that initial dash jump of Saqil going in. He could queue up that neutral signature, and then Saqil would back up into it.
Well, oh, the pass, the follow-ups, the neutral, and Sweaty almost closed it out, but just dropped it at the end.
Like, even though missing that side air, that was really sick. That would have been an orange KO off of that one. And Aquatic going in the GC sidelight. He's not afraid to burn his dodge whatsoever. There's the unarmed ground pound for the KO. And it's a 3-0. Even more confident than their Autumn Championship 3-1 victory against Darwin and his teammate J-Blade back then. This time, it's against Darwin and Saqil.
Yeah, that was a super confident, super dominant game 3, and that was really thanks to this massive lead that they had built up. But I have to say one thing for them moving on throughout this bracket. Darwin exposed a very big weakness for the two of them, which is that they were pretty desperate to get that last KO off. They were whiffing side 6, they were whiffing recoveries, every single heavy button that you can imagine, and Darwin was consistently baiting it and punishing it. That's what he did so well. He knew what the enemy wanted, he knew what the opposing team wanted, and he took full advantage of it. Sweaty and Aquatic, they have to dial that in slightly, not be so needy for it, because it could just blow up.
Yeah. They definitely have a few things that they need to work on their side of the team, but still, like we saw some really solid gameplay coming out from Saqil and Darwin, even though it was a 3-0. Like, again, we're talking about like PR 21 in North America and PR 17. Aquatic is the 21 and Sweaty Meat is the 17. So again, like that's not a bad team by any means whatsoever. That's more than a top 32 team in North America. So very impressive showing from Aquatic and Sweaty Meat, able to rally back after a tough loss, a tough 3-1 loss against Ian and Mac.
That's right. But Sparky, I do believe, oh my gosh, that ground pound KOing off the top, that was absolutely ridiculous. So nice job to, yeah, me too, man, that's tough. Nice job to Sweaty and Aquatic. They're going to be moving on throughout the tournament, throughout the elimination side of things. They have a lot of fight left in them. I'm excited to see how they do. And yeah, Sparky, I believe that is going to be the final 2 set for you and I.
Yeah, we had a really nice 4 sets here. We had Moni versus Meg D, or Moni and Meg D against Blaze and Knees, and then we had Winter and Stingray against Kamal and Offrins. We had Ian and Mac versus Sweaty Meat and Aquatic, and then we had the run back of Aquatic and Sweaty Meat on the main stage. 2 in a row. Big stuff from them against Saqil and Darwin.
I don't know what that is that he was showing onto the screen, but yes.
Oh, I didn't catch it. I was looking down on my computer. Excuse me.
I don't know what that is, but thumbs up to that, I guess. Okay, so yeah, once again, congratulations to Sweaty and Aquatic. That is Saqil and Darwin out of 2s, but that is not the last that you have seen them this weekend, because of course we have a full weekend.
Okay, how are you gonna show me how to pick up chicks? Not so fast! Brother, I've been pulling since 52. Watch and learn, buddy. Hey there, baby.
Every time I talk to you, feels like I'm fighting for your love. I thought I had it, but in the end I fucked it up. I just wanna restart. Before I was a retard, my heart's still not gon' change. Every time I talk to you, feels like I'm fighting for your love. I thought I had it, but in the end I fucked it up. I just wanna restart. Before I was a retard, my heart's still not gon' change.